able to sit in pretty deep. He looks so much. My name is Cole.
And I'm Shelby. And this is Runa. And we all three live in this DIY tiny house. We have done so good.
Yeah, we have.
We really like each other.
That goes a long way.
We really like each other.
We like each other, like hanging out.
We've lived in this tiny house for a year, and he asked me to marry him, so that's how it's going. We both have very similar lifestyles. We both sleep in. It would be entirely different, I think, if we had like bigger lives outside of here. But like, he works from home, and I work nights, so like our schedules are very much the same.
I think it all just takes figuring out too. I think it helped that we were both seasonal workers and like traveled a fair deal, the van life thing. Like, I think there were enough factors going into it that we were pretty adaptable humans. We weren't like rigid in our lives, and I think that helps.
Our dog is really our whole life.
Yeah, that's where we should have started.
Yeah.
We're dog people.
I guess living out here in the country, I've just really realized how much I appreciate small things, good friends, good food, good drinks, slow time. Got my TV screen, nothing but a sleeping husky. And I love it, I don't need any other channel. This one is the right one. We live just outside of Bend, Oregon, just far enough away from the chaos of Bend and just close enough to the majesty of the Cascade Mountain Range. We live in 420 square feet on a 5-acre parcel of land with wonderful landmates that we love and adore.
So we've been living on this fine parcel for just about a year now. And on that note, why don't you guys come on inside?
Welcome in to our 10-foot wide by 24-foot tiny house. Something that was very important to me in my designing of the tiny house was tall ceilings. So although 90% of the action in the tiny house happens over there, I still have a tall ceiling here so that when you walk in, it immediately feels like a big, comfortable space to hang out in. So I needed a place to see a well put together outfit, what needs to be changed, and because of that I chose the most grand,
gaudy,
absolutely ridiculous mirror possible. I saw it and I could not resist it, and now here it stands like a centerpiece in my house. I extended essentially the footprint of the trailer. As the trailer was the most expensive part of the build, I found a way to have more space without causing the expense of the footprint to be bigger. So I have 4 feet extended on each side, which actually leads to a 32-foot trailer, if I'm doing my math quickly and under pressure. So 4 feet on this side. I have this space up here to put whatever I want to. Those snowboards that don't fit under the sink, that extra guitar that you have that you don't play, it all goes up here, you know, in your grandma's luggage. So I really wanted like a crazy chandelier. And then upon looking at crazy chandeliers, they're like also crazy out of my price range. So one day I meandered into a department store, found this like wall hanging mirror, and I just painted it. And then I needed light bulbs, and I thought, what better than the light bulbs that I saw and couldn't forget from IKEA.
But it's a beautiful piece of art, and I feel like very quintessential to who you are as a person to find used goods or cheap goods and turn them into something that kind of everybody that walks in the house notices. Like that's one of the first things I'd say people notice. So I was living in a van for kind of like on and off 4 years or almost 5 years. She had the idea for the tiny house. She built the dang thing.
When my dad passed away, I had a chunk of money from his life insurance policy and wanted to invest into the future as best as I could.
When I started the build, first of all, like the chunk of money that I got from my dad's life insurance policy, like it was like a serious deal, you know. It was something to be very careful with. I just knew that I would never have $40,000 at my dispense again. So the idea of using it in such a way, I have what I'm using it for forever to like really serve me. With that in mind, I told myself that this was going to be my forever house. I'm like, and that really helped out, I guess, the quality of everything. You know, I didn't go halfway on anything. Like everything that I really, really wanted, no matter what it cost, no matter how much extra time it took, I did. And on this side of the house, we have the kitchen, which turns out to be so much more well-equipped than I actually expected it to be. So I do feel like there is sufficient counter space. However, if the counter space is insufficient, we do have a flip up over here. It pops all the way up, extends almost to the end of the door here. This sink was very important to me. This was a big step in building the house. Was if I wasn't going to have a dishwasher, I knew that I was going to be doing all my own dishes. It has a cutting board, it has a strainer, it's actually has a raised grate from the bottom of the sink. If there's few dishes, you can leave them drying here because it's not attached to the bottom of your sink. It's not going to be sitting in any pool of water. So being someone who appreciates aesthetic so much and understanding how much your general surrounding aesthetic contributes to how you feel, I really wanted my whole space to not feel cluttered. And for me, cluttered meant less various bags and boxes and cans, and meant more general organization of things. Jars are wonderful. I also just really love how it feels. Like we have gone through trying to figure out how best to make this work, and really essentially it's like the things that we use most are closest and the things that we use less are farther. And I have a very good general whereabouts of what is behind what, because we do have another layer under all of these things of all the rest of the things. As an artist, something that killed me in my beautiful house was this white fridge. So it is in process right now. If it's not evident, I have been very inspired by Moroccan design and decor and history. I really wanted my house to feel homey yet old, even though it's a brand new house. And I successfully did that with my storage cabinet and my bathroom door, and the fridge door is in process. This is actually cosplay foam that I have glued on here and am burning designs into, and it's not yet done. As with any good thing, it takes time, so we're having patience for this filthy white fridge. Here we have Oh, the marvelous slide-out storage. So all of our canned foods, all of our everything, any kitchen thing that we want to hide, it lives in this. From the dreaming of designing my house, I knew if there was going to be one door inside my house, it had to be a very special door. These are actually my leftover shiplap wall boards. And scratched them, and then I painted them and stained them. I threw these fun little brads on, again with my adoration for like bright, colorful, yet historic things. I wanted to bring that into my house, and I succeeded. I did it. I love this bathroom door. So it's actually a bifold. And that's how you open it. To close it, you literally just push it and it kind of closes itself. And through the majestic faux Moroccan door, we have the 4.5 foot long bathroom. This is my bathroom storage. This is where I keep my laundry detergent and towels and my toiletries, Cole's toiletries. So I have a Nature's Head composting toilet, which was one of the first things that I bought with the house. When I was living in here on my own, it did great for me. It did great. Pretty much the entire time that Cole and I have been living in it together, it has not smelled good. And we have fussed with different mixtures of peat moss versus coconut coir. We have varied the moisture level of these various mixes. And all in all, it has been difficult to completely evacuate the smell. It's not necessarily a poop smell, it just doesn't smell good. I just would not recommend this. I don't know if it's my problem or the toilet's problem. So I am a jeweler. I make jewelry, which means there's a lot of it. It means I wear it every day. It means I want access to it. One of the best secrets I could share with anyone is that you can do whatever you want to in a tiny house. You just have to formulate a plan to make it look good. You have to go a little out of your way one time, and then your display of things can be marvelous instead of disruptive. And I have really found a way to do that with my jewelry. It's all been creative. All of my jewelry I have hanging in an organizational way. I have gold on one side, I have silver on the other side, and they all come to this point where it almost looks like a curtain for your window. Yet when I come in here and I'm getting ready for the day, I just turn around and here are all of my options for necklaces. And believe me guys, I try like 4 of these things on a day before I find the right necklace. Tell you guys, things take a little bit longer than you expect always. This took me like an entire probably week to build this silly little thing. I didn't, this was the first time I didn't really like watch a video. I was just like, yeah, sure, put wood together, make some little drawers. So I made my little makeup drawers, and each one of them has their own purpose. This is my fabulous lipstick drawer, because lipstick is a very important thing in life. This is actually one of my ceramic pieces, my first ceramic face piece actually. Thought that would be a nice storage solution for toothbrushes and makeup brushes. So the house is certified as a park model RV through Washington Labor and Industry. If my information is correct, there are very few states where you can be certified as a DIY builder. And I just got really lucky.
the only place that I like had really to build was Washington, and that happened to be one of the states that you could go through this process for. My thought process of why I wanted to go through the very large hassle of getting it certified was because, again, that $40,000 that I was never going to have at once in my life again, and wanting to protect it. So if I wanted to sell the house, someone could get financing for it because it is certified. And that would mean that it'd be much easier to sell if I do try to sell it. And as a DIY build, I wanted people to have confidence, like that the building is good. Building a tiny house alone is very difficult for someone who is not used to carpentry. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like clearly I knew how to use like a friggin' drill, but that's about it. So the challenging part, mainly in the end, was coming up with my own motivation to do it every day. I'm getting emotional. Yeah, to wake up and you're like, okay, so today I have to install the plumbing for my sink. And you're like, I know nothing about installing plumbing for my sink, so I'd spend like 4 hours on YouTube and then be exhausted from staring at a screen and then not want to do anything but have to do something. And then you try it and it's not quite right, and then you go to bed, and then the next day all you have to do that day is that thing that you failed at yesterday. And I really appreciate how it really makes you a good problem solver, like an expert problem solver. Like very frequently at work, it's like something's not quite running right or something's not moving the way it should be. And I'm like, well, let's break it down, look at it, figure it out. And that's a skill that I didn't have pre-tiny house. And that's huge because I feel like a more equipped human. So right now, this section of the house serves as solely shoe storage and this lovely basket of dog toys I have. Again, to reference the fact that you can do anything you want to in a tiny house, you just have to make it look good. So whatever you got, stick it in a basket and it'll all be fine. Put that basket next to a plant, it'll be better than fine. I have plans to make this the most awesome, fabulous desk space ever. As fully functional as you could imagine a small desk space, which is why it's not here yet. It's because it's taking a lot of very careful thought. I currently have all of my art supplies stored in these fabulous little IKEA drawers. I think I spent $15 on them each. It's like nothing. And I have all of my art supplies thus far, besides my ceramic stuff, stored in here. Very convenient. And then to my fabulous stairs. Honestly, my favorite part of the whole house. It was the most custom part of the whole house. And I had such a pleasant experience building these. So my friend Dustin Keegley, he is a welder, and he designed and built these for me, and I'm still so stoked on it. And more than steps, I have like a lifetime friend that I got out of these. I was just overwhelmed by that still. Besides the stairs, besides the lifelong friendship, we also kind of accidentally acquired this little perfect sitting nook where you can sit with a cup of tea, with a book, with a journal, sort of have this workspace while also getting to listen to the birds and having this inflow of fresh air is really excellent. And it was an accident. We didn't plan for this. It just happened, the perfect little nook. And upstairs, we've got the bedroom. My favorite place to spend time is up here.
I'm sure a lot of people have questions about whether or not like a loft is spacious enough for a bedroom. I say that like in the bedroom, I don't do much else other than rest. I don't do much else other than relax, and you don't need tall ceilings in order to relax, it turns out. I am a glamour queen that was disguised by 7 years of living out of the back of a backpack, living out of a backpack, living off the back of a motorcycle. And something that I really needed if I were to plant down roots was a good closet. Like, I have been looking forward for so long to being able to have more clothes than you can fit and carry on your back. So that was very important to me. And upon my research of essentially how to make anything look good, Pinterest is a fabulous tool, tiny housers. This is a 14-foot closet, and in order to have an open closet, you have to tend and care to your closet. Like I water and prune my plants, I water and prune my closet. I am constantly fixing it. I'm constantly adding new pieces to it and kind of rearranging everything. And I have found that because I look at my closet every day, I am wearing creative outfits every day. And so aside from my very large portion of the closet, Coleman, who lived in a van before he was in this house, didn't have very many clothes to begin with. He has his sweaters and nice long sleeves hanging over here in the far corner of the loft. He also has his pants and shirts and all that hiding down here.
Well, before this, we were renting a room in Bend, which Bend is really expensive. Living with other people as an adult is really difficult. I think we were both already on that cusp of like, especially after seasonal work, where you're either living in dorm setups or a house with 3 or 4 other people. We were both over 25 and like, okay, we need our own space. Like, it's hard to live with people. And so when we found this spot, it seemed like a sure thing. It was like, wow, it's so much less than we're paying now and we have our own house.
Yeah. $600 a piece for sharing the room. And then our utilities were like $100.
Yeah,
month, which is just
split
crazy.
4 ways, but yeah, it was like $400, $350 to $400
yeah,
bills.
so $100 each. So $700. So we were paying together like $1,400 for rent for 2 months, and that was on the lesser end. Like, that was like a good deal. Like, it's crazy out there. And then now we're paying $550 a month, and our heating, water, that's just $30 a month, like all the time, whether it's summer or winter. So $585
really
is what we're paying, and then that's split between the two of us. Like $290 for rent is great, super manageable.
Not bad.
Forrest is the property owner. Found him off of Craigslist, which, you know, it can go one of 2 ways, and ours went the right way.
What he really wanted was like just a little community. He was like, it's not so much about the money as it is like a little bit of financial freedom for me, and also just a community of people. Kind of mentioned to him, like, I think I'm at the point where like I gotta either get out of bikes or I gotta do it on my own. And he was like, well, man, like, you should do that. You should totally do it. You can do that. Like, you have everything you need. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe I could, like, you know, you want to rent out the barn? He's like, just take it. Like, just go for it. And like 2 weeks later, we were out there like wiring the whole barn up and built a little bike shop in a barn. And it's been perfect. And just every time I talk to him about it, he's like, still going good, man. Like, he's just very encouraging. And yeah, he's like given us everything I think that we could have possibly needed.
This is my favorite part about the house build. The whole thing, it was miserable, except my gleaming uncle, my mother's brother. I'm getting emotional again. Gosh dang it. So, built the house for my dad's life insurance policy. My dad wasn't like a nice person. Wasn't the best dad he could be, and I got a dad. So I built this house on my uncle's property. He was gracious enough to let me stay there for 2 whole years. And like, they just took really, really good care of me. And to have like lost a dad, be building this house with his money, and to gain a dad, like, it was so beautiful. Also, just not just the fatherly aspect, but like, he knew how to do all the things that I didn't know how to do. I needed him if I was doing it alone. And anytime I, had something that I couldn't do with my 2 little hands and my 2 little arms, I'd have my big, strong uncle come and help me out. Just no problem. It's like he very much enjoyed helping me, and I always felt like, you're a busy guy, like, sorry to ask for your time. He's like, let's go, like, just enthusiastic. And also when I had no enthusiasm or motivation for anything, he's just rock solid there. So good. Oh, I love that man.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Instagram for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.